Thank you, Upal, for that wonderful introduction. Hope my screen is visible. Okay, what a powerful spotlight event the trailer was. And once again, congratulations, Smitha, for your inspiring journey. 9 kg down and cholesterol reversal. For me, it is personal, like this health issue. It is something personal for me because 3 years before, I was also suffering with the high cholesterol. And like you mentioned, Narayan, she has literally reversed her age. So that I also can see from the before and after photo. Okay, moving forward to our topic, healthy liver. Okay, like Upal said, this is one of the most common lifestyle disease that in Indians we can see. This is because of a lot of reason. Okay, so let's see. So in this presentation, I'm going to cover these five aspects which are extremely important, like problem. So why this liver issue, especially the fatty liver, is rising in India? Then risk, like who are the people who is mostly suffered, like who suffer the most from the fatty liver? In the symptoms also, I'll talk about like how you will get to know like okay, I have a fatty liver or not, and blood report, and especially कौन सा blood report निकालना है, because there are a lot of parameters in the blood report and people are now confused कि मुझे कौन सा blood report निकालना है. So I'll talk about that also. You can take the screenshot later on. Then a five-step solution. This is the most important slide. So stick to the end of the presentation and call to action. It's not just about getting into the call and listening or seeing something. You have to take the action. If you don't have fatty liver or sign as of now, that doesn't mean you will not have that. So as a preventive measure, maybe you or your family member could be is suffering with the fatty liver. Okay. So the problem. So why people in India are suffering from the fatty liver? This image, if you see, this is a healthy liver and this is a fatty liver. Fatty liver, as name indicates, fat on a liver. And liver is a master detox organ. It is kind of a detoxification system, like body's detoxification system. And as per the ICMR report, 1 out of 3 Indians suffer from fatty liver. This is huge. And if you ignore that, then it will lead to obviously obesity, diabetes, cholesterol, and heart problems. And the reason for that is obvious, the fast-paced life. Especially like the recent news, when I was reading this news about fatty liver, 80% of employees, they are suffering from the fatty liver and they even didn't know that. The reason, sedentary lifestyle, like junk food, stress, and alcohol. It's not about just alcohol, okay, because nowadays we have seen the people who are not even drinking the alcohol, they also are suffering with the fatty liver. So there is a different kind of fatty liver that is called non-alcoholic fatty liver, right? So when you go to doctor with the symptoms that we'll discuss later on, he will say, okay, you have grade 1 fatty liver or grade 2 fatty liver. So how they decide like whether it is a grade 1 or grade 2? So let's see. The image on your right side, it indicates the healthy liver, and these are the liver cells. Okay, here this is a non-alcoholic fatty liver, and these are the fat cells. So these fat cells, this is called hepatocytes and grade 1. So if you see, if it is 5 to 33% fatty cells, means the hepatocytes, okay, if this fat cell, like if the liver cells are covered with the fat, like 3 to 33% of hepatocytes, that is liver cells, if that are covered with fat, then we call that as a grade 1 liver, fatty liver. It is the initial stage of fatty liver. Then comes grade 2. If you ignore that first stage, if you say चलता है, like अभी तो because like last week only when I was talking to one of my friend, he said I have grade 1 fatty liver, but that is the common, वो तो चलता है, अभी तो सबको ही होता है. So it doesn't mean that it is common. No, it is not common. You have to take it seriously. If you don't take it seriously, it will lead to grade 2 fatty liver, where your fat cells will be 34 to 66%, and eventually grade 3. If it comes to grade 3, it may cause liver cirrhosis, which is a non-reversible condition. Again, I'm telling you, that is very difficult to reverse. In some cases, liver transplant is the only option. And in India, the liver transplant range starts from 25 lakh and above, depending on the type of hospital you choose. So you have to be very precautious about this disease. Okay. And on an average, in adults, we see it's 1.2 to 1.5 kg of liver size. Okay. Now, who are at risk? Okay. So these are the people with fat belly, obesity, diabetes, especially all the lifestyle diseases that you have. If you have that, that are the symptoms which indicates that something is wrong inside your body. Okay. So before moving to the next slide, I would like to have some activity. If you can type in and tell me which is the largest organ in our body. Which is the largest organ in our body? Can you just type in? Okay, Dr. Dakshita said skin, skin, skin. Okay, good. Someone said liver. Okay, Rugnani said liver. Okay, now the second question, which is the largest internal organ of our body? Which is the largest internal organ of our body? Okay, great. Liver, intestine, liver. Correct. So there are two different aspects. The largest organ of our body is skin, and internal organ, it comes to liver. Yes, most of you are correct. Okay, so these are the risks. And if you are even lean, in that case also you have a chance of fatty liver because of stressful life, like sedentary lifestyle. If you don't have enough sleep, even if you are not drinking alcohol, okay, still you have the risk of fatty liver. So it doesn't mean that if you have obese, okay, you can still be suffered with the fatty liver. Okay. Moving towards next slide, what are the symptoms? Like if you have constant tiredness or low energy, then if you are bloating, indigestion, difficulty losing weight, if you are struggling to lose weight, if you have skill dullness or dark circle, and obviously the back pain, right? The lower back pain, mild pain. These are some of the symptoms, but sometimes we tend to ignore these symptoms. Our body is so beautifully designed by God that it gives us signals that something is wrong inside our body, but we tend to ignore that. So this is again extremely important slide. When you go to pathology, and if you like, you can take a screenshot of this. So these are the parameters which confirms that you are suffering with fatty liver, like liver function test called LFT, your sugar levels, cholesterol profile. Okay, so these are some of the parameters which shows the early sign. But the fatty liver can be detected in a ultrasonic test, wherein it literally scans your liver and it detects like, okay, is it grade 1 fatty liver or grade 2 fatty liver? That is how you can cross check, do you have a fatty liver or not? And we would recommend you to have this blood test once in 6 months. Okay, coming towards the core of a presentation, these are the 5 steps to reverse the fatty liver. Obviously, starting with food. Food is a medicine, so you have to keep your plate clean. So clean doesn't mean like a plate पे कुछ भी नहीं होगा. No, it means more veggies, fruits. Again, fruit doesn't mean कि high in sugar, because fruits में होता है fructose. So you have to avoid the fruits with higher sugar content. You can connect with the coach who invited you, like which you should eat if you are suffering with a fatty liver. Sprouts, obviously, and less sugar and fried food. So this is about your food. Then move your body. The second most important step. Like, due to this sedentary lifestyle, we forget like how to walk. Like that day when I was going from the garden, someone was telling me it's been a long like I took a rest and literally I forgot how to walk. So on a lighter note, yeah. So 30 to 40 minutes at least of walking. You can have walk inside your home or preferably in the garden. And 5 days a week, if you can do, if you're suffering with a fatty liver, that will help. So 10,000 a day is a pretty good number. Stress. Okay. In stress, you have to work on meditation, deep breathing, and 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So why meditation and deep breathing? Because the more oxygen you inhale, the more CO2 you will exhale. Okay, and this carbon that you are exhaling, it is the byproduct of the fat metabolism. That is how your deep breathing will help you get rid of that fat. Support for the nutrition. So these are some of the the basic nutrition. Like Smita also mentioned the importance of protein. So yeah, omega, probiotics, and hydration. Okay, these are some of the basics. You can get in touch with your coach for a detailed nutrition. Then the last one is obviously the healthy cooking. This is the most ignored aspect in our home. So you have to prepare the food in a toxic-free cookware. Most of you, if you are using aluminum cookware, non-stick pan, or pressure cooker, you should avoid using this because this is one of the culprit in fatty liver, in thyroid cases, in cholesterol, and in a lot of other issues. So you should not use that. We have alternative of a toxin-free cookware, and obviously mindful eating and portion control. So these are the 5 steps you must remember in order to reverse a fatty liver. Okay, now before coming to means before discussing this again, just one more question to all of you, and this is interesting. Okay, so which is the only organ in our entire body which has a capacity to reverse its age, or we can say health? It's the only organ in our human body. Okay, great. I can see most of you are now empowered, and I'm getting almost 100% correct answer. Yes, liver. Liver is the only organ in a human body which has a capacity to reverse its health. So if God has given us that priority, like that facility, why not to use that? But for that, you have to adopt these lifestyle changes. It's all about lifestyle changes. After that, now action. So what action you should take? First one is do the blood report. Then connect with the person who invited you. We have a dedicated wellness profiling wherein we check all the systems. Okay, and which tells us do you have a fatty liver or other issues or not. And start with the small lifestyle changes like I discussed, because your liver can heal. So let's begin the journey today. With this, I would like to end my session, and thank you, Upal. Back to you.